Hi, Megan.
Greetings. Hi, everybody.
So what we're going to do is, because of the limited number of people in the council chambers, we're going to start out swearing in the new officer because we probably have over 50 people or around 50 people here. So we have his family, friends, police department in here. We'll do that first, and then we'll continue with the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Wonderful.
you. Okay, why don't we do the pledge, though? Okay, would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Carol, do you want to go ahead and do roll call, please?
Mayor Sheets,
Present.
Greg Miller,
Present.
Megan Sheets.
Present virtually.
And just a reminder to use your microphone so that the audience at
okay.
home and Megan can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so we will start out this evening with the swearing in of our new police officer, Chief Shoemaker. Would you like to?
All right, thank you. Xavier, come here. Come here. All right, 2 weeks ago, you guys approved the hiring of Xavier for tomorrow. So we want to have the mayor swear him in tonight. Just want to remind everybody a little bit about Xavier. Tonight, we make history. The Frankfort Police Department is growing. I want to introduce our newest officer, Xavier Matthew Vella of Frankfort, graduated Frankfort High School in 2016. He then became a United States Marine. Xavier received an honorable discharge in 2021. He spent some time in college and then became a corrections officer at the Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Office. We are honored that Xavier has chosen the Frankfort Police Department, and I am excited for Mayor Sheets to swear him in as the first 36th officer of the Frankfort Police Department. Mayor?
Thank you. Thank you. And welcome to the city of Frankfort. We're excited. We're excited to have you on the department. And like he said, you're the 36th officer, so you're making history tonight. How's that? But we're so excited to have you, and I hope you're as excited as we are. Okay, so we're going to swear you in now. Okay. Stand back here so they can see you. How's that? Okay, left hand on the Bible, right hand in the air. And repeat after me. I, Xavier Matthew Villa.
I, Xavier Matthew Vella.
I said it wrong. You knew I would do that. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States of America,
of the United States
the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Indiana,
of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
as police officer
as police officer
according to law
according to law
and to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. So this is exciting. Are you ready to go tomorrow?
I am ready to start.
Okay, so I will need for you to sign right there on this line. Sorry, I mispronounced your name. I knew I was going to do that. I even said to the chief, I said, I hope I say that right. I'm kidding. Probably not the first one, right?
No, it happens very often.
Okay, and then Carol will sign it, and after they make copies of it, then you'll get the original back, but she'll keep copies also.
I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You do a great job.
NFL draft around here. An official Frankfurt Police jacket, don't say anything. We'll get you one. We'll get you one. Right there. We'll take some photos. Yeah, we'll go outside.
Then you can come back and we'll get your report later.
I don't have a report. I need to have that.
Really don't have any place to go any different unless we go upstairs in the hallway, because then when you start changing it to different buildings and you have another.
Right, well, and we're gonna have the camera requirement.
Oh.
So that's gonna be a problem in 25.
Yep,
Yes, that starts in, I was going to ask you that, starts in January of 25.
July.
July of
July.
25, yeah.
yeah, so we'll have that next problem, yeah,
We need to get more reliable equipment before that time. Yeah.
yeah.
We have a year, so.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the minutes from the March 25th, 2024 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of March 25, 2024, as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are passed. Next, we have the claims that were given to us by the clerk treasurer's office.
I have them. I'll make a motion we accept the claims as presented tonight by Carol.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, the claims are approved. Was there any public comments? I didn't even look. Nothing? Okay. Next, we have the department reports, and we're going to start out with the Parks Department because Joel needs to leave, right?
I have a school board meeting to get to. So first on the list is the approval of the use of Prairie Creek Park by Hawker Title on May 3rd. They would like to have a community event with alcohol.
I'll make the motion we approve the Hawker Title Community Event for May 3rd at Prairie Creek Park.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, got that approval.
Awesome. The next one is we have a series of contracts for the final few bands for the summer concert series. And once we get these approved, then we can announce our whole series. But the first one is the Grace Scott Band for May 9th at a cost of $1,100.
I'll make a motion that we accept the application for May 9th, 2024, for the sum of $1,100, the Grace Scott Band.
And I will second, but I would like to add a comment.
Uh-huh.
May I do so?
Yes.
Okay, and I just wanted to double check, Joel, in our previous meetings, as we have these contracts, have you also been tracking the available financing for these? Are we still in good shape
Yes.
for all of these?
These are funded through the Parks Department budget now, not through the RDC
Okay.
funds, because we've already spent all the RDC funds.
Okay, that's why I wanted to double check. So my second still stands.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that one's passed.
The next contract is for August 8th for the Feuding Hillbillies, and it's for $42.50.
I'll make the motion that we approve the entertainment contract for Feuding Hillbillies on August 8th. It sounds like a fun venue.
They're a country artist. They were at the Indiana Festival Association's concert showcase. They're actually very good. And they
Okay,
have a great
sounds
name.
fun.
I will second the motion for the Feudin Hillbillies.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that one's approved.
The next one is for Malachi Jagger for September 28th for the amount of $3,000.
I'll make a motion that
I'll make the motion we approve. Oh, I'm sorry.
nope,
Go ahead, Greg.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, I'll make the motion we approve Malachi Jaggers on September 28th for $3,000.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
An interesting thing, he actually lived in Frankfurt for a time.
I thought he did.
Yeah.
I thought he did.
The next one, which isn't on the agenda, but it's the last one that we have, is for City Lits. And it is for August 24th in the amount of $1,500.
Okay, yeah.
Or lights.
What
sorry.
was their name again?
City
Joel?
Lights.
City Lights?
Mhm.
I'll make a motion that we accept the application or the contract for City Lights on October the 24th for $1,500.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Is that October 24th or August 24th?
August.
August 24th. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we had that correct in the minutes. Thank you.
The next thing I would like to discuss is the possibility of putting up no smoking signs at Prairie Creek Park so that we can enforce our ordinance that we have for no smoking in the park, especially during events.
And that ordinance has been in place already, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the idea.
I believe it was put in place in 2020, if
Correct.
I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the idea was for correct signage there so that
Correct.
the police department would be able to enforce that.
Right. As well as putting golf cart parking signs up for no golf carts in there as well.
I know I was down there on Sunday for this service, and there was somebody smoking down there outside the event center. I would think, I don't know what you think about where to place them, but maybe even something inside the event center that would let them know. You would think people would know that, but just as sure as we didn't, then they would say that. Does anybody have any thoughts otherwise, do you, Joel, on what you're thinking, or?
I was just thinking putting it at the entrances of the park. That way it could be enforced that way. Typically, people nowadays don't smoke in the buildings because it's state law that they can't smoke in the buildings, but you never know, I guess.
I think it'd probably be a good idea to maybe put one inside there also. And maybe also look at the areas back in that back area closer to the tracks. You know, maybe just to be sure that the areas that may not be clearly signifying for that, so there'd be an area that would be no question. Now, will those also go across the creek into the area of the?
Yeah, I mean, it's all park property.
Okay,
we
so
would
the-
put it over there.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Yeah.
the plan is to put them also there
Yes,
also.
we would put one
Okay.
over there as well.
Okay.
Have you looked into anything, or do you have
I
any
haven't yet.
ideas, or?
But we
I
can
mean-
have them made, that's not a problem.
I think, and police department's not in here, but I think in order for us to be able to effectively enforce that we're gonna have to have some sort of
Right.
signage, so. Because most people coming in there won't know. And if they do, they'll just say, well, you don't have any signage up, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan, do you have any comment?
I was just gonna say, I'm certainly in favor of both types of signs. So,
You want to just see what you can come up
Yeah, I'll
with
come
and
up
get
with
back
something.
with
Yeah.
us? And,
I can send you guys something once we come up with what we would like to do. And
yeah, because I don't have really any ideas on what you're thinking.
yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to look into that.
Okay, okay.
Then the only other thing I have is the ratifying of the hiring of Jason Belcher, who is a part-time laborer.
You have a start date?
He started last week.
Okay.
Jason Belcher,
Mhm.
Belcher.
Yes,
He's a part-time?
he's part-time laborer. Yes.
I'll make a motion that we accept the hiring of Jason Belcher as a part-time laborer for the Parks Department as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Do we need anything, a motion or just the minutes to signify that the no smoking signs will be going up? Alicia, do you have an opinion on that?
My thought was, once we've got the signs, then we can kind of approve where they're gonna go and all of that, because my understanding was that, we were gonna get more information, weren't we? So maybe once.
Okay.
So I think tonight we're fine, but eventually, yeah.
Thank you.
Did you have anything? Because I think we do, to talk about a little bit about our food trucks and vendors for this season. As I think we talked about last year, I just want to make sure that our local vendors are able to be a part of this. So my preference is that we check with our local vendors first, and then if we have enough room for them or something different, maybe one or two outside
Yeah.
the community. So probably what we're going to have to do is maybe resend that information and give them the opportunity. I don't know how many vendors you can have at an event. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Typically, we do like 3 or 4 at a concert, and usually 2 at a movies. But we can definitely expand that too. It's just all depending on how we want to do it, because we don't want to have too many to where people aren't making any money, because then they don't want to come. But yeah, we can definitely resend it out and talk with them and see what we can figure out and add a few more.
Yeah, and I think that's something too of their option to whether they choose to come or not.
Yeah.
As
Right.
for us to limit that as to whether they make money or not, we may very well have 6 and they all make money.
Yeah,
you
true.
know,
Yeah.
To rather cut that down, but I know just speaking with some people, it's been going long enough. They look for certain people to be there.
Yeah.
And they look forward to that. So I think that would be a great way to help promote that also. So I'd be very supportive of that too.
Okay. And
Yeah,
if
we can
could-
definitely add more people. That's
Yeah, if
not
we
a
could
problem.
get the list of who already we think is going to be there
Yeah.
as well.
Like I said, I can get that to you. I just didn't have it today because KDM was
In our
out.
community, we're having so many vendors and food
We
trucks
are.
right now.
We
And
are.
we have a wide variety, and it seems like they just keep adding them.
Yeah.
And as everybody knows, I've always supported our local businesses. To me, that's important because it helps them that evening, plus it spreads the word that, look what's in Frankfort, Indiana.
Right.
So yeah, if we could work on that and you get that information to us, okay.
I can do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I don't know how much you were out yesterday, and Megan, I'll just let you know since you're away. I drove through the park yesterday or last night, and it was absolutely packed.
Yeah.
The pickleball courts, the tennis courts,
It's been
Little
packed.
League diamond, the basketball courts,
Yeah.
the old softball diamond, the volleyball courts. I mean, there were people everywhere, and this was about 7:30, 8 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have all that in place for you. So kudos to you and the Parks
Thank you.
Department for having that together.
The only other department report that I have now that we were talking about it is we do have, I forgot my note, we do have the ribbon cutting for Dorner Park at 2 o'clock on Saturday. The seal coating will not be done by then, but the nets and the poles will be up, so someone could still play pickleball if they wanted. They just don't have any lines.
Do you want to mention the donation by Crawford Fencing?
Yes.
Yes. So Crawford Fencing, originally when they did the fence quote for Dorner Park, that was for 4 courts. Well, then sometime in the transition, I don't know when, because I wasn't here, but it got changed to 6 courts. And so after they put everything in, they agreed to just donate whatever the overage was back to the city as a gift to the
Really
city.
appreciate that.
That is wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you to
Yes.
them. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Alicia.
I guess you're sprucing up Dorner's Park, getting all
Yes,
ready for
so
Saturday.
Dorner
so-
Park has, the concession stand has been reworked and fixed up and has a new roof and new paint and new siding in places. And the playground equipment's been painted, everything's been mulched. We just placed the rock today with the plaque on it, thanking the Dorner family. We put 4 truckloads of gravel down and expanded the parking lot for the dog park. So it's looking really, really nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And tell your employees.
Thank you, Joel.
I will definitely tell them that.
Yeah, we really
They've
do
spent a lot of
appreciate it.
time, and it's like now we're on crunch time. So,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to rain the next 3 days.
Oh,
so.
no. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you to Mr. Dorner
Yes,
for all his contributions to Dorner.
he's very excited to. I talked to him today. He's very excited to be here on Saturday.
Good.
And they booked every Airbnb in Clinton County. So there's like 30 family members that are going to be here from the Dorner family.
That's great. That
So
is
they're
great.
very excited about it.
It's exciting. It's been an ongoing project for quite
Yes.
some time, so I'm sure they're anxious to have it completed, so. Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you. Thanks.
thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay. Fire Department, Chief Stidham.
All right, good evening. I don't have a whole lot for tonight. Just wanted to kind of give some updates on a few things. First off, ladder truck, we got it back today finally, about an hour ago.
Good.
So it's back. It's operational. They've ran it through some tests at the fire department, and they said it's not grinding. So as of right now, I'll knock on all the wood I can get a hold of, but sounds like it's fixed at this point.
Good.
Engine 3 is still down. We're working on trying to get it fixed. I did talk to McQueen's Monday, and they are going to order the part, and that part will be in hopefully sometime this week, and they'll be able to come up and fix that.
Good.
So sounds like right now our equipment's starting to get there, but I think it's still going to be a long road before we get anywhere close to where we need to be. Other than that, just want to kind of give an update, talk to Envoy a little bit about some of the things we've been going with the land, and they look very promising that they may have something more kind of dialed in, and that's what we're kind of waiting on. He said as soon as they will get that information from attorneys, they will be able to get back to us on what that land will be, for sure. And then Alicia, we will have to get together too about the land. So, but right now, I think that's all that I have for the fire department right now.
Good. Okay, thank you. Street Department, Jason Forsythe.
Got some copies to pass out, Mayor. I was a little late today. Megan, you want me to throw your copies in front of your computer?
That's okay. Maybe you can take a picture and text me or something. I'll just pay close attention. How's that, Jason?
I don't care if you want me to have one. Thanks.
Did you bring 5 copies, Jay? I'm gonna keep one for Beth too then. Good boy, thank you.
I'll send you some.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Another one. Yeah.
The first item that's on the agenda, once everybody has their copies, let me know.
So these are there are 3 copies of
Could have 3
tractor.
different quotes for tractors.
Okay.
And I'll kind of go over them with you as we go through here, but what I'm bringing to you tonight is, and for the council members that are here, there'll be some more information coming up on an additional appropriation in regards to our FEMA money that we were awarded from FEMA for the damage that was done in, as far as my department goes, for the tornado last year that, and straight line winds that came through town. What the first quote is, and these are all as close to apples as we can get. The first one is, we'll look at is John Deere. This is trading in one of our John Deere tractors that we already have. It's like a 2000, I think it's 2004 John Deere 5303. This size is the one step up from that that we're looking at. But they're giving us, John Deere's giving us $7,750 for the tractor that we are looking to trade in, and that'll bring their total quote for the 5075 cab utility. This is all these tractors are going to have enclosed compartments where the guys are inside during early spring when it's cold, and obviously in the fall when it's starts to get colder, and then obviously in the summertime when it's really hot outside and they need a little air. These will all have enclosed compartments. We've never had that before, so the guys are excited for that. But so all of these are as close to apples. They all have the enclosed compartment. But the first John Deere quote is $58,330.92. Second quote I'm going to look at is Bain Welker, and we did not get to trade for the John Deere until after we got the quote, so I kind of wrote it on top of mine, but we're looking at a $10,000 trade-in value for the same tractor that we were looking at before, and it'll bring that quote down at the bottom, and instead of $73,700, it'll be $63,700. They were going to give us $10,000 for our tractor. And this is a Case tractor through Bain Welker in Lebanon. And then the last one, the one I'd like to go with, is Riggs Outdoor Power Lafayette Kubota tractor. They were going to give $7,500 for our trade, which brings their total cost down to $53,914.79. And just to kind of go over the tractors a little bit, we went and looked at 2 of them anyway. They're each going to have a 4-in-1 bucket. What I wanted to do when we purchased this tractor and looked at it was to be able to utilize it more than we've been able to utilize the other John Deeres that we've had. Basically, those were just used for alley work and then mowing with. With a 4-in-1 bucket, we'll be able to do some brush work with it. There's the other reason I wanted to go with Kubota is it will already be able to use our skid steer attachments to it. So, and it'll also be able to pull a John Deere mower behind, or I can't ever remember the name of the darn thing, but the pull behind mower that we have is a John Deere, but it'll also attach to the Kubota as well, where sometimes John Deere doesn't, you have to buy their attachments to put on their tractors, but these will all take care of all the forks that we have for our skid steer, the bucket that we use to load salt with will fit on this tractor. And then it'll also have the 4-in-1 bucket and then the original bucket that comes with the tractor. So we'll have a lot of opportunity here to utilize this Kubota once we get it for a lot of additional things. And I'm also looking, and I'll bring it to the board works later on, is if you're familiar with the snow box that we use uptown a lot of times when we get a lot of snow, I would say, except for the fact that we don't get to use it very much, that's probably one of the best pieces of equipment we own when it comes to clearing snow. And they have a smaller version of the same type of vehicle or same type of attachment that'll go on this tractor. And we're going to look at that later on with some of the money that we have from FEMA as well to purchase for that to use for our cul-de-sacs in town. We believe we can use it once annexation starts in Jefferson for a lot of snow removal. I talked to Kevin Myers a while back, and he used to plow county or out there in Jefferson quite a bit, and he said it took him about an hour and a half to plow it if you were able to plow and just leave. You weren't in the middle of a big snowstorm, but this attachment will make that probably even quicker for us. So we have a lot of opportunities. So just what I've spoken about just now, and there's other things we can do. We're going to have 5 or 6 more opportunities to utilize this tractor versus what we're using it for now. That type of tractor for now. So if it's okay with the Board of Works and we can move forward, I'd like to go with the Riggs Power for $53,914.79.
And it looks like, too, Jason, if I read this correctly, and for Megan, just reading over here, with the one from Riggs, it's actually the 4-in-1 bucket, the loader, and then it looks like the pallet forks also with
Yeah,
this.
pallet
So
fork.
you have that. I don't see that specifically
others.
listed in there, so it looks.
Yeah, I think it's, and the nice thing about it too, that I was going to talk about is you're always concerned about being able to service the machine. The parts can be bought right there in Lafayette. It's right on 38, just past SIA there as you enter Lafayette. So we do have something close that if we ever needed anything service-wise, we were close.
So Alicia?
Getting with Riggs. With Riggs, we're getting a trade and a government discount too. I mean, they've sharpened their pencils pretty well for us.
Well, one of the things I did is my nephew used to work a lot for John Deere, and one of the things about Kubota is they specialize in this size of tractor, similar to this size of tractor or down. They don't work in combines, they don't work in farm equipment, so he felt like we would get a better quote from them anyway. But you know, I have a lot of confidence in him, and I wanted to reach out to him and ask him about it, and he gave me some good feedback, so, and it turned out to be exactly what he said.
So this is money that he received from FEMA for when we had the tornado last year. And we've already got the distribution, the revenue's been put in there. He's going tonight before the city council for an additional appropriation to cover this expense.
Okay.
So can we go ahead and approve it pending the approval of the additional, or?
Yeah, I would go ahead and approve it contingent upon the city council agreeing to finance it.
Okay. I'll make the motion that we approve the Riggs bid for the end result total of $53,914.79, contingent upon the council approval to appropriate the funds, FEMA funds.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, Jason, you got the approval.
Thank you.
Is
Appreciate
tonight
it very
First
much.
reading, I don't have it with me.
Yes, it is first reading.
Okay,
On
so there would be another one, or we have a public hearing.
the public hearing will also be tonight. So if council decided to suspend the rules, they could pass it in both readings tonight.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The next thing I have is I wanted to got 2 quotes for our downtown line striping. We didn't do any line striping downtown. I drove through town, and the handicap spots seemed to look pretty well all the way out throughout town, but obviously the white and yellow needs to be replaced. So I had 2 bids, one from Moore Seal Coating. These are both local bids. Moore Seal Coating for $12,500. And then the second one is CR Lawn Care Line Striping and Snow Removal for $14,415. So if it's okay with the Board of Works, we move forward with whatever bid you'd like, and we'll get with them. You know, we obviously want everything to look nice downtown for Hot Dog Festival, and it's time to do the crosswalks and the parking spots and things like that. And this is all basically one block off of downtown as well, including Old Stony.
How much money do you have in for line striping this year? Do we?
I added some money this year
Okay.
just for that purpose, Mayor, just so we had, it's in our local road and street. It's where we take our stone, our line striping, anything that has to do with that. I think we put 45 in there, I believe.
I don't know the figure off the top of my head, but I do know that it increased from last year.
We used to do that every year, and it felt like we really didn't need to do it every year, but every other year, it's usually time to get that done, especially with the spaces down in front of Prairie Creek Park and obviously Old Stone, anything downtown. So, yeah, that's why I increased it this year, so we could have the money in there to take care of this.
Now, I did notice this is not itemized for more.
No.
Or do you feel comfortable that we're
Yeah,
comparing?
I want to say that his quote or his estimate is about the same as it was last year. But obviously, we had some handicap spots in it last year. I don't remember what Craig Rutledge's quote was last year, because they both bid on it last year, but paints obviously went up and things like that. But the only thing that's not apples to apples is there's no handicap estimate in this one where there was last time.
Okay.
So the bid went up for both, I believe, but Moore's went up, obviously probably due to normal paint cost minus the handicap, and same with Craig.
Since you've worked with both of these vendors before, is there anything in the work or the product that you see any difference in?
No, I think they pretty much used the same thing. Craig was downtown for a long time, and we've utilized him in the past, and he's always done a great job. And then Jeff and I think Jeremy Ward helps him now. They did it last year. They were both very, they get in there, they get it done. We don't have to wait around on them. It's something they all plan for every year, I think, for the opportunity. But to say that one does better than the other one, or I see a difference, I really don't. I mean, I think with, obviously anything that happens depends on the amount of traffic that goes over them or parks on them or drives around them every year as to how much they go away every year. But we obviously have a lot of things going on downtown, so we want to make sure that it's well marked. And I believe both of them too, when I'm talking about it, with the annex building still, there's like 5 or 6 spots there. These do include those quotes for those, so when that building is finished, they'll come in and do those for us. And I can't remember if there's a handicap spot there. Or I know there's nothing. Well, and then Main Street too had like 4 or 5 there along the side. So they'll get everything they can, but it includes those as well. Hope that helps.
I appreciate the detail of the CNR quote. I think in that regard, it's very well delineated what's involved in that particular quote.
Would you want to take it under advisement, see if we can get more information from Moore, or would you be comfortable?
Well, we did that previously.
Mhm.
Better clarification. For example, one said double line, one did not. And so I think they both had the opportunity to present it to us in as detailed fashion as possible. And I don't know that that alone makes up for the difference in price, but I know Jason is assuring us that the workmanship is the same, the quality.
It's hard for me to say, like, because obviously I see it once they're finished. So it's hard to see, double line versus not double line. And I don't know a lot about it, but like I said, I can only comment on the fact that it always looks good when they're finished. But Craig's been, I will say something about Craig. When we had the situation on Main Street where we needed that to get done, I mean, he got right on it, got it done for us. But I'm sure, Jeff and Jeremy would have done the same thing. So, they've both been there. But we've used Craig a lot just for, the crosswalk there in front of Wamplers. That's definitely needed right there because it's busy. He's always been Johnny on the spot to help us out, so. And I don't think I've used much of, if this helps, I don't think I've used much of that line item. I don't think we bought any stone yet. If we have, it's been very little, because we're gonna be starting alley work pretty soon, so we'll be using that for stone, but obviously I put that money in there for this cause. I can't remember how much I added, Mayor, I'm sorry, but
It's okay.
it was at least 10 grand anyway.
I think you didn't.
And it might have been more than that, because I think I probably would have went off Jeremy and Jeff's quote from last year as to how much I thought we might need and bumped it up a little bit.
Okay.
Might have been closer to 15, but I think it went from 30 to 45, or is what I
Did
did,
it?
something like that. I'm pretty sure it was 45,000 was how much was put in there for all of that.
Pleasure of the board. Would you like to go ahead and award it tonight, or wait, or?
Well, we do have a responsibility to watch the dollars that flow in and out. We're getting positive reports on both from our street superintendent. So I think we have a fiduciary responsibility to watch the funds. Therefore, I think it's prudent of the Board of Works that I'll make the motion that we accept the Moore quote for the $12,500.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
taken care of.
Just two more things quick. Tomorrow we'll be receiving information on community crossings. I don't know what time that'll be, but I do know it'll be tomorrow, and so we're hoping for some good news tomorrow. And then I've reached out to Alicia and talked to her about getting with her, and we've worked on it once or twice together already. So as far as getting our request for bids and our scope of work and things like that together, and getting that advertised so we can get moving on that. So we're hoping for some good news tomorrow. So, and then the last thing, Kimberly had sent me it's kind of a funny thing. Some information about Touch a Truck at Suncrest School. I thought that was today, Mayor, but it's actually May 9th.
Oh,
So we got trucks all cleaned up and loaders all cleaned up, and then I got to tell them that it's not today, it's next month. But we will be going to Suncrest on May 9th from 12:30 to 2 for Touch a Truck at Suncrest School. So, but we'd have been early today, Greg.
but they look good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look sharp.
they're clean.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Okay, building services. Don Stock's here with Director of Planning and Housing, and then Ryan is not here this evening, the building inspector.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the Board of Works. Carol Jo, did we get our March permit turned into you in time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's
wanna
in,
make
they
sure
have that in their
everybody has one.
packets.
Okay. Well, first we'll deal with what I deal with. Later this evening at this meeting, Alicia will be giving you the information necessary for the potential tearing down the garage at 1002 East Clinton Street, and 3 bids for that. So we hope that somewhere in the next couple of weeks, we can get the garage down that we've been working on for a very long period of time. I want to update you on what's going on at 304 North Main Street. I spoke with John Reed today. He's obviously the go-to person in this project. And John said that they're moving towards the RDC to potentially bid on the purchase of this property. Right now, they're working on quick deeds because the property was inherited by not only Miss Ingram, but her brother. and her brother just passed away, so they're now working on a quick deed process to get it all into her hands so that the bids can then be taken on, or I should say not the bids, but the appraisals that RDC requires too, and then adjusting from the appraisals. So I'm hoping, I don't know how long it takes to do a quick deed process, but let's hope that by the middle of summer, we can be addressing the garage and the potential of the RDC purchase. John is working on getting, there's 2 cars inside this building. He's working at getting the garage emptied out, and then we'll get Joe Palmer the key for the appraisers to go in and take a look from the inside out of the building. And hopefully we can get that taken care of before the end of the year also. So that's where we are with those 2 items. I had a meeting yesterday with my Councilmatic committee members and the mayor as we talked about there's some potential downtown development that is going on right now. It's all kind of in the talk mode and nothing as in a permanent process. But the Councilmatic Committee helped in the direction of how they would want our downtown. I've actually have pulled up, according to our comprehensive plan, there's a downtown design standards in place. So I now have those and have been reading through those to help us with any decisions on new buildings being constructed downtown as it all lays out in this design standards for our downtown. So we're going through that, and as we progress, we'll get that information out to the people who are looking to potentially do anything downtown. On Ryan's side, Ryan couldn't be here this evening. He wanted to give your permit report for March. There were 33 permits issued, bringing in a total revenue of $3,900 and I think that's $7 and some cents. In 2022, it was, wait a minute, I'm sorry. It was $5,396 in 2024. It was $3,907 in 2023. In 2022, it was $3,659, and in 2021, it was $4,081. The total revenue or valuation for March was $23,466.82 in total evaluations for the permits. And the permits, we're still doing 30 electrical, which basically tells you that electrical services being in place for either buildings that have been empty for a while or folks who've had their meters turned off. Some detached garages made, some minor remodeling, and those were the major constructions that were going on in March. I know things are picking up. Several phone calls coming in now on complaints. We dealt with today a fence that was 8 foot tall, so we're dealing with those. We being Ryan and I go with Ryan, so he's not out there by himself. And we're also dealing with some issues on some driveways and maybe some homes things that are having some challenges. So that's what's happening for us in our building, and appreciate all you and what you do and what you allow us to do. So thank you.
And I will mention that we are looking at the fence permit. And Ryan's working on that. I've had a couple of conversations with him. And as we look at the UDO, it looks like we are able to have a fence permit, but he's working on some other details of that. But when I talked to him today, I said we can go back to issuing the fence permits once we found out that we're able to do that and it's a legal thing. I couldn't find it in there. Nobody could actually help me, but Ryan's worked really hard on it.
Right.
So we're going to go back to the fence permit, and which may alleviate the problem that you had today. Let's hope. I mean, we still have standards. They have to go by the standards. The permit really doesn't have any effect on the standards. I mean, we still have expected them to follow those standards. And
I'm really glad you brought that up because we've had 2 fence challenges today, and one of them, the 8 foot fence, information was given out to them on what's required and what's not, and still we get an 8 foot fence. So we went out to adjust that. And then we have a fence on the northwest side of town that got put up. I don't have anything that says what they did is wrong, but it's not it wouldn't have gone up. Maybe if we had a permit, because we would have had that conversation about what we would love to see versus what's there. I don't have anything that says that what's there can't be taken down, but it's not the best thing in town. But I'm dealing with a driveway and illegal street cut that wasn't made. So we're going to talk about a driveway on the same property to try to get that straightened out. But great point on the mayor. We've had two fences, one with information, one without. Both of them not doing the right things. And so by making them permitted, we'll be able to have a better hands-on when they first get started to try to keep everything better in line. So
Do you have copies of the quotes for the Clinton Street garage by chance?
I do upstairs. You want me to go get them?
Can you grab them? Because
And
I didn't
I
bring them
gave
with
you
me.
one. You need the other two?
I need all three. Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
grab that stack. I was looking through my papers and I forgot it on my desk.
Okay,
so
I'll go up and
thank
get
you.
them. Thank you.
Thanks.
Because I was going to have us go ahead and open those, but
Well, they were just quotes
for
for the demolition. Yeah,
for
they're
the
not
demolition.
formal bids.
okay.
We do have a formal bid for, I think, the sidewalk.
And we have all the documents signed, everything we need
The
to do.
sidewalk is in May.
Oh, that's in May.
Yeah, which do you
That's
have?
for the demolition,
What is it?
demolition.
This is for the demolition. 1002.
That's
This is
for
for
the-
1002.
okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's the third one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Whenever you want to talk about that, I have all the documentation to sign, yes, for that.
Okay,
So I did bring that piece. I just didn't bring the quotes.
so do we want to go ahead with, and then come back to the quotes?
I think we haven't done Kimberly yet.
No.
If you want to do
Yeah.
one first.
Kimberly, do you want to go ahead and talk to us? And then when Dawn gets back with those quotes, then, yeah.
Okay. First on the agenda, after good evening, is to ratify one of the Eclipse Entertainment contracts for two nomadics. The reason for the ratification is we had a health emergency with one of the other bands, so they were the substitute.
Now, the band that we were going to have for that, they, like she said, there were some health issues, but they're willing to come back at a different date, right?
So I sent that
As
date
long-
to Katie Ann.
She sent that to Katie Ann to see if we can work that in for
Yes.
another date.
Because it's already in the budget per se, just for a different date, so.
Yeah.
So working with Katie Ann on that to get the Mooncats back. Everybody loves them. They were kind of disappointed that they weren't here, but I said, I'd rather you be healthy than anything else happen on the stage where I have to call EMS, so.
Yeah.
The contract would be for $1,000 for April 6th.
I'll make the motion, we ratify the entertainment contract for the two pneumatics for $1,000.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
taken care
I
of. You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. The next thing, this was given to me, and I shared it with Jason, fire and police. It is the Senior Olympics Committee with Pat Day wants to do an opening ceremony torch relay. It would be going from Wesley Manor to the Paul Philippi or the Senior Center. And Mayor, they've invited you to join in on that.
Okay.
So I don't know all the details, but I've sent it to the chiefs for both of them and Jason, and nobody had any complaints. So
Is that right, Jason?
I'll make a motion that we accept the application for the opening ceremonies torch relay on May the 1st, 2024 for the Senior Olympics.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, have the approval for that.
appreciate that. Thank you. And then just department updates. I'm working on Archive Social and getting with all the departments and making sure that all of their social media and digital marketing is being archived. So we have a lot more out there than what I even realized. So we're archiving them and then just kind of letting them lay low until we can delete them. So since they've archived everything, we don't have to keep them up and running, which is a great thing to have and less on my plate. The scouting luncheon is Thursday, April 18th, so we encourage everyone to come out. It's the Clinton County Luncheon for Scouting. Mayor Sheets will be speaking about the impact that scouting has in our community. There's table sponsors available as well as individual tickets, so I just wanted to remind everyone it is April 18th from 11:30 till approximately 1 o'clock. And then the only other thing I had is the eclipse yesterday and this weekend, just thanking all the departments for all their help. It's a team effort, and I wouldn't be able to do it without all of them. So they make me look good. I'm working on analytics for Google and social media for how many people viewed the City of Frankfort, Prairie Creek Park, Parks Department. So excited to get those back on how many new people may not have came to Frankfort, but at least saw that there's things going on in our city, which is important to me and to all of you. And then all of this was made possible by the Clinton County Tourism and the RDC for their financial contributions. So wanted to make sure and highlight them in a public setting, and there'll be a social media post going out today to thank them and all the departments. So, and Marilyn Peters had a record-breaking number of vendors and attendance. It was a little crowded, but I liked it. So, other than that, I don't have anything unless you do.
Kimberly, I want to thank you. You put a lot of work and a lot of effort into this past weekend, and I think it was very successful. I saw a lot of people downtown, a lot of great things going on. Didn't have anything, I don't think, disastrous happen or anything that unexpected.
Nope.
So, but thank you for all your work and all that you did on that. Also, I want to thank each one of the department heads, all your employees. This is what makes our community great, is when we all work together. We all plan these things, and we work really hard, and it's our love and our passion for this community is how this all happens. And I think it was very successful. I enjoyed the eclipse yesterday. I hope everybody else did, and I hope you wore your glasses. My grandson kept thinking, Clarence, you should have worn your glasses. My grandson kept saying yesterday, you're going to go deaf if you don't wear your glasses. I'm like, no, it's not deaf. So anyway, but it was a great time, and a lot of people through the community. I heard there was a lot of license plates from other areas stopping at like our restaurants, our gas stations. So I think it was great. Thank you, and thank you to everyone else. Make sure your employees know as well that how much we appreciate it.
I was shocked on the traffic. So, I mean, I kind of anticipated it, but not to that extreme. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Dawn, I actually have planning and housing next, but let's go ahead and do
Thank you. Sorry about that.
the bids or the quotes.
Okay. Okay.
So, the 1002 East Clinton Street garage has been a problem for a little while. There was like a hole in the wall, and it's not super structurally sound. So Don has been working really hard to try to get this garage down, and so he's been working with the owner of the garage, and she has executed a demolition agreement whereby the city will agree to demolish it, and we don't have to go through the court process to get that done, and that will become a lien on her real estate. And she, instead of having to go through the process of filing a lawsuit and having the judge say that we can demolish it, she has agreed to allow us to do that. So I do have that agreement for your approval. She has signed it, and she has removed her things from the property. And then once we do get it demolished, then we can put a lien on the real estate for the amount of the demolition. And I think you approved the agreement before we sent it to her, but now that she signed it, we just need to get it signed, so.
I'll make a motion that we accept the agreement that was signed by the property owner of 1002 East Clinton Street for the demolition of the property.
I will second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, I'll find that now.
Okay, and then Dawn has gotten some quotes for removing the garage. So the first one that we got, was Right Now or Excavating, and there are two different quotes on this. So if we want the structure demolished and we leave the concrete, it will be $12,000. And if we want the structure demolished and the concrete to be removed and grass planted, it would be $15,000. So it shows a total on that one of $27,000, but there's two different choices there, and we would pick one of those. And that was Right Now or Excavating. And then Hoosier Heartland Dirt Works provided two different options. Option one is the demolition and we leave the concrete, and that was $8,500. Option two was to remove the concrete, and that was $11,150. And then the last one we just got was from Campos Construction. And that one includes the foundation and the flooring, and it was $18,900. So we kind of have two choices. We can either accept one of the quotes and move forward with it, or we can take them under advisement. And then if you do decide to accept one, the question is, do you want the concrete slab and foundation removed, or do you just want to remove the structure itself and leave the concrete?
I have a preference. I know that it's kind of a 50-50 with the concrete. She had asked about the ability to leave the original floor of the garage, which is the front section of it, not all of it, the garage itself, so that she could park her vehicle on there off street. And I don't have a challenge with that. So, I mean, I'd like to have most of that concrete taken away, but not all of the concrete. Now, if the bids is that either it all goes or it all stays, then I vote that it all goes versus not, or leaving it all in place. That wouldn't help us out at all. So, in all reality, I guess if we can't just get half of it gone, I would suggest that we get rid of all of the concrete.
So I notice on the compost that it's all together with the slab and the
Yes.
foundation.
They did not provide an alternative option. So one other thing we could do is we could reach out to them and say, what would it be without the concrete if we wanted to do that? These were not sealed bids because they were under the dollar threshold. So just invitation for quotes. So if we want to do that, we can.
Yeah, if you're looking for input, I think it's taken us this long to get to this point. I think I personally would like to see that job taken care of and concrete taken out and seeded over and just be done with that so that we don't have an issue with that property any longer.
So tell me this.
I would agree.
This is the one with removing the concrete, and that is without removing the concrete.
And then this is
This
doing
one-
both.
This one is removing without the concrete, and that one's removing it
Okay.
with.
So
Yeah,
right
so
now
ignore
it's-
the 27,000
Okay.
because they'll either do one or
And
the
this
other.
is both.
Correct.
Okay, both have 18,900.
So if we're looking at removing the concrete, Right Now or Excavating LLC, their quote was for $15,000. Hoosier Heartland Dirt Works LLC, their quote was for $11,150. And then the Campos Construction was $18,900 if you're looking to remove the garage and the concrete.
So Hoosier Heartland, are they a local entity? I'm not familiar with.
Their address is 1624 West Armstrong Road in Frankfurt.
Megan, they're a new organization or a new business just gotten started, and Shan brought my attention to them when I was at a meeting at his place on Friday, and so I asked them to put a bid in. They live in the Prairie area.
Okay, yeah, I consider that local. Thank you.
So you think that's both? And that's
Yeah,
without-
because this says concrete floor and foundation to be removed and topsoil placed over to cover and level yards. That's the 11,150. Concrete floor to be left as is.
Okay, I just want to make sure they're not thinking both of those together. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I think my understanding is that this would be all of it. All of it. Because it's got the demolition of the barn as the first thing, and then the removal of the debris, demolition and digging of concrete floor is a separate line on here. Removal of concrete, and then the delivery of the topsoil. So I believe that's everything.
So another thing is, do we have to think about insurance and that type thing? Or were they asked to do that, or?
They would need to have insurance, yeah, and we'd want them to provide it to us. We don't have a contract with them at this point, so one thing we could do is we could do an independent contractor agreement with them to, like we do with the sidewalks and that sort of thing, to get them to complete it, and that requires insurance. Or we could just have them provide proof of insurance and just accept the quote. It's kind of up to you guys if you want the agreement itself or if you want to just accept the quote. The benefit of accepting the quote and saying, go do, is that we don't have as much control over, all we've got is this piece of paper to govern the terms of the engagement. If we do the contract, though, that takes more time, so.
I would like to see the contract option regardless of the choice, only to cover liabilities and so forth from our end.
And so if you decide to award one of these, what I can do is I can get the contract prepared for the next Board of Works meeting, and then you all could approve it then and we could get that signed, and then they could start work on it. So it would only be, a couple of weeks delay.
So just to be sure that my understanding is we have a compost at 18.9, we have Ridenour of 15,000, and we have 11.5 from Hoosier Heartland. That's demolition of the building and the concrete and removal of both.
That is my understanding.
Okay.
And Dawn did contact Ridenour to confirm that the 12,000 is one option and the 15,000 is another option because it was
two different.
correct, because it has that 27,000 at the bottom, and that was a little confusing to us. So,
Well, that's what I wanted to make sure on this Hoosier, Heartland as well, to make sure, that they're not thinking both of those.
Total.
Yeah.
yeah, their email indicated that it was two separate bids.
Yeah, when I spoke with Heartland, I told them that it would be, you would bid on just the removal of the garage or the removal
Yeah.
of the garage and the concrete, so
Okay.
they were aware of that.
Their email says, attached, please find 2 quotes for demolition of the barn at 1002 East Clinton Street in Frankfurt. The first estimate does not include removal of the concrete floor and foundation for $8,500. The second estimate includes everything, including the concrete floor and the foundation, for $11,150. So I think that clarifies that.
So could we put stipulations on this as what we would want for the contract, that we could go ahead and let them start and ratify it at the next meeting? Or do you know what I'm saying? Could we say if
yeah.
they can provide insurance, if they can provide?
Well, and the other thing too is what I use is our general, I have like an independent contractor template contract. And so it's pretty much the same every time we do it. So if you want to approve that contract in form of what we normally do, I can go ahead and get that approved I mean, we could do that at this meeting, approve it in form, and then just sign it at the next meeting and get them started if that's what you'd like to do. I mean, I change some things to make it specific, like the price and the scope of work and the name of the contractor, but the insurance and all of that stuff stays the same because otherwise you'd be paying a lot more for the same thing. So we use a template for that.
I mean, my biggest concern is insurance, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a pleasure of our board to take it under advisement as, and then get that information to Alicia for contract preparation.
That's, yeah, we can do that, just to be sure that we have that. Because I think we're clear on what the estimates are and the totals they are on that. I think just, with the assurance of that, since that seems to be the deciding factor of that, I would be fine with that, Megan.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's still, we get this decided and done. I agree with you, Greg. It's time to put this one to rest. So, I think we have, two new entities and one that is new to all of us but has been recommended as a provider. And in this situation, Alicia, it's not, that we have to go with the lowest bid, is it? Because this is a whole different situation. And if they'll lien on the property, eventually the owner or the estate's going to be paying it back.
Yes. So you don't have to go with the lowest bid because these aren't sealed bids. So you can take other factors into consideration, like, prior experiences with them and that sort of thing if you want to, yes.
Right. Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we take these bids under advisement, review them, and get the information to Alicia for preparation of the contract we've discussed.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
So Alicia, any more information that you need or whatever?
No, just once you kind of have an idea what you're leaning toward, I'll get the contract ready. The other thing I could do is I can make one with blanks, and then if you decide at the next meeting what you want, we can just fill in who it is, if that's suitable to the board. Either way.
Yeah. We have our Board of Works planning sessions that even the public is welcome to come to prior to each of these meetings. So I think we'll have the opportunity to appropriately discuss it and get you the information.
Perfect, and then I'll get a contract ready and we'll have it for the next meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, HR, Carol.
I have provided you with a copy of a job description for a position in my office that's currently part-time and contingent upon council approval for the financial part of it. I am asking council to approve the funds to make that a full-time position, and this would be the job description to go along with that. This is our court clerk position. We've added some additional job duties to this. It's always in the past that the part-time position has been a backup for our court clerk, who is one of our deputies. And as we all know, part-time positions are hard to keep filled, and we really need to attract a reliable long-term person to this position since they are dealing with many of the court issues. And additionally, we would add a few clerk treasurer responsibilities to that as well. I have highlighted that and marked it in the job description that you have a copy of. And again, this would be contingent upon council approval of the financial part. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to speak to that.
I do not.
Yeah, I'd like to just offer a comment that we stepped right out away. We stepped out right away on the financial end of things, and the council finance committee and the mayor had a chance to meet with Carol and ask our questions and delineate what's going to be added and enhanced as a result. I know as that group, of course, it's not the whole council, that'll come later, but as a group, we were in favor of this, and we had a chance to review the job description as well. So I'll go ahead and make the motion. We approve the job description, taking that position from part-time to a full-time that is presented to us this evening.
I'll second the motion, Megan.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you all for your support in that. It's much appreciated.
Welcome. Okay, you've already taken care of the bids. Do you have anything else for us?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
have the
The other,
unfinished,
I was
but-
thought you were talking about the other bids. My
Yeah,
bad.
nope.
Okay.
They're on the
Okay,
agenda
already
later.
taken care- Okay, do you have the bids?
I
for the
do.
Downtown watering and then the Old Stony landscaping.
Here are the landscaping.
And we actually, I believe, tabled these, didn't we, from the last
Yes.
Took them under
Took them
advisement.
under
their
advisement
advisement?
at the
Okay.
last meeting.
Do you remember the bids, or would you like for me to? Like for me to read them? Okay. The first one is from Warren Lawn and Landscaping, and that's for the downtown flower pots, 51 flower pots and 9 planters. Let's see, and it's the chemicals and the watering for that, $16,000. The other one is Smith's Lawn Care, and it as well is for the chemical treatments along with the hanging baskets and the other planters downtown, and that's $28,800. Which one?
This is multiple.
Oh, just multiple copies, okay. So those are the two that we have for the watering, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I think since we took that under advisement last time and we looked at another option, I believe that we talked about
Yes.
the possibility of watering, I will ask that we approve the contract with Warren for $16,000 for the watering contract.
I will second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
And I don't know if we do a contract.
We
with it.
do.
We do, okay.
You guys already approved the contract in form. I just need to fill in the person's contact information and the amount. So when we did the notice of bids, I had the contracts. For once, I was prepared. I had the contracts ready to go. And so you guys approved those as well when we did those notices.
Great.
Okay, then next we have the landscaping, mowing, trimming at Old Stony. The first one I have here is Warren Lawn and Landscape for $4,800. Platinum Landscapes, $4,656. Exterior Views, and let's see, is this $5,492. I wonder what this one is. That's Smith also.
Smith's.
For $7,532.
There should just be one for him. We have Warren, Platinum, Smith, and
Did I get
Exterior
them all?
View.
Okay, so we got them all. Okay, Smith is $7,532.
Again, taking these
Oh,
bids that we approved platinum contract in the amount of $4,656.
I'll second the motion.
roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that'll be awarded then to Warren Lawn and Landscape. And there may-
Platinum.
I mean, Platinum, sorry. That may be a contract as well?
Yes, and you've
Okay.
already approved the contract for that as
Okay.
well.
Okay,
So I will
you.
get those ready and I'll get them to Carol. Carol, can you please send me a copy of the quotes that won, the bids that won for Warren and Platinum, please?
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody have anything else under unfinished? Okay, I do have a proclamation under new business. We were asked to do a proclamation, or I was as mayor, for the Work Zone Awareness Month, which is April. So I'll go ahead and read that to you. We're actually, I think, Kimberly, if I'm correct, this will be sent to another organization, is that right? I mean, we're not going to have a presentation, or they just ask us, as the city, me as the mayor, to do this proclamation. Work Zone Awareness Month, whereas the city of Frankfort recognizes the safety of workers along all Indiana roadways is paramount as they ensure the reliance of our community throughout the construction, improvement, and maintenance of our city, county, and state's transportation system. Whereas in 2024, the city of Frankfort joins the Benjamin J.W. Fisher Memorial Foundation Incorporated in support of the initiatives to expand work zone awareness for the month of April, which is vital for the safety of all who work and travel on our Indiana roads. Whereas Governor Holcomb's historic infrastructure investments, the NDOT Next Level Roads combats road congestion, improves safety, and ensure a more resilient transportation system for the state of Indiana. Whereas the city of Frankfort recognizes Indiana crews work in and around live traffic at all time of the day and recognizes drivers should use extreme caution in work zones by adhering to the posted work zone speed limits and remove all distractions that hinder safe driving. Whereas the city of Frankfort and NDOT continues to do its part to improve the safety of workers by using innovative technology on our roadways, which provides drivers with alerts about active work zones and helps drivers navigate the roadways safely and efficiently. Now therefore, I, Judith Sheets, Mayor of the City of Frankfort, call upon its citizens of Frankfort to join me in recognizing Work Zone Awareness Month by encouraging motorists to drive with extra caution in work zones, and do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Work Zone Awareness Month. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand on, and I did this on the first day of April 2024. So I think it's important, Jason, I know your guys are out on work zones, and our utility workers are state or county, so I thought it was very important to me that we did this proclamation. Thank you. Does anybody have anything else?
No.
Megan?
Nothing from me.
Okay, I'll take the motion.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, thank you, and we'll see you in a little bit, Megan.